The story of science. 1. There was a time when there were no postal systems. The messages were sent through messengers. Arghun Khan, the king of Persia, wanted to marry a Chinese princess. He sent messengers who reached China after 2 years. The Khan of China sent a beautiful young princess for marrying Arghun Khan. Meanwhile, Arghun Khan died in Persia. But the princess had already left for Persia. There was a long caravan and more than 2,000 people traveling with the princess. The princess married the son of Arghun Khan, who was kinged by then. Today, news travels much faster than a jet plane. We may switch on the radio or television and listen to the news and happenings all over the world. This big difference is the result of science. From early morning when we rise until the night, we come across inventions and discoveries of science. The fountain pen we write with, vehicles we use, and many other things of daily use are the gifts of science. The machines for making our life comfortable. The journey of progress started with the discovery of fire. An invention of the wheel, discovery of agriculture. Greece and India discovered mathematics. Which brought periods beginning from the 16th century when science grew very fast. During this period, the laws of nature and its other secrets were discovered. Isaac Newton gave us the law of gravity, which tells us the reason why an apple falls onto the earth. He gave us many other laws of nature and also did many important works in mathematics. He is rightly called the father of modern science. Newton lived in the 17th century. In the 18th century, many new machines were invented and started production of various goods like cloth. People operated these machines with their hands. James Watt invented the steam engine. The people started using the invention in running motor cars, buses, rail engines, and many other machines in big factories. The machines produced goods in large quantities and in less time, and the quality had improved too. The manual labourers could not compete with the machines and soon became surplus. As a result, many people lost their jobs and started working in the big factories, which were owned by just a few rich people. Thus, in the 18th century, science brought a revolution of change in man's life. discovery of agriculture in the early times brought about great changes in the forms of villages and cities. During the 16th to 18th century, scientists invented a lot of useful machines, which changed our way of life. The story of science too. We have learnt that age of science had begun in the 17th and 18th centuries, when James Watt invented the steam engine. Sir Isaac Newton invented various laws of mathematics. All these inventions and discoveries have changed our way of life. The age of science in the 19th century gave us many more inventions and discoveries which brought great changes in the world. We will discuss some of the important ones. Michael Faraday discovered electricity. Mouse invented telegraphy. Edison gave us the electric bulb. Marconi invented wireless telegraphy. Which led to the invention of radio. In the 19th century, trains, motor cars and ships were made and the means of travel became faster. In 1969, two astronauts, Armstrong and Collins, travelled for 3 days in space and landed on the moon. A businessman had a holiday trip in the space station for a week. Atomic power is an important discovery of the 20th century. It is used to run factories, run big ships, and used in producing atomic energy. But the irony is that Americans used atomic bombs in World War II against Japan. Many countries have made atomic weapons and missiles. It means that science is now used against nature, which could be disastrous. We have built domes, power stations, atomic submarines, and long-range missiles too. Two friends in a jungle. John and Peter were two friends studying in Class 4 in DPS, Shalimar Bar. Peter was living with his grandmother and grandfather. He belonged to District Kangra in Himachal Pradesh. Peter used to go often to the nearby forest. He invited his friend John to spend the summer vacations in his village, Kangra. Both of them were enjoying and having great fun. One day, both of them went out to the forest in search of strawberries. They saw a wild bear moving towards them. John was innocent and taken aback. He started trembling and started crying. Peter told John to lie down and hold his breath for some time. The bear came closer and smelled both of them from top to bottom. Thinking that they were not alive, the bear walked through the dense bushes and disappeared into the forest. When the bear had left, John heaved a sigh of relief. Peter consoled him. They then ran towards the village and stopped only when they had reached the well of the village. The women present near the well gave them water and brought them home. John still remembers that adventurous day and narrates his experience to his friends. The postal system. Mike and John lived in the school hostel. One evening, Mike went to John's room. He was reading a letter written by his father. They started discussing the system of postal service. It was an interesting discussion. The postal stationery, inland letters, postcards, money order forms, postal stamps, and other stationery is available at the post office. There are other counters, like post office savings account, various savings schemes, and speed post service. Mike and John wrote replies on inland letters to their friends. They went to the market and dropped the letters in the letterbox. There were 3 letterboxes. One meant for local delivery, the others meant for national and international delivery. Delivery timings were written on the letterboxes. On inquiry from the postman, it was learned that the postman opened the letterbox thrice a day, once each in the morning, afternoon, and evening. Moon. The moon is our nearest star. It is a satellite of our Earth. As compared to the Earth, it is very small. As we look from the Earth, the sun and the moon seem to be of the same size, but they are not. The sun is 400 times away than the moon. The moon looks bigger because it is closer to us. The planet Venus is the nearest planet to our Earth. The planet moves in circles around the sun. The satellite moves in a circle around the planets. The satellites have no light of their own. Hence, the moon shines because the light of the sun falls on it. In the daytime, the sunlight is much brighter than the moon. Therefore, we do not see the moon in the daytime. The time between the day and the night is called the twilight. When the sun rises, it becomes bright because of the sun rays reaching the Earth. The Earth looks beautifully at the moon. There are many craters, high mountains and deep valleys on the moon. The hospital. Mike lives in Paris. There are many big hospitals in Paris. His friend John lives in a village. There is no hospital in his village. John came to see his friend Mike in Paris. Mike accompanied John to see his ailing uncle in a hospital. John was anxious to see a big hospital, as he had not seen one so far. Both of them went around the hospital. Mike took John in the casualty ward. There were doctors and nurses attending the patients. Most of them were accident cases. The receptionist told them that the doctors in this ward attend to all emergency cases. After initial examination, the serious cases are referred to the specialists for indoor treatment. Other patients are discharged after being given first aid. Both the friends entered the main hall called the General OPD, which stands for Outpatient Department. In the OPD, patients are examined and the treatment is given without admitting them in the hospital. After examination, the The doctors may refer serious cases for admission in the hospital for treatment. There was a long queue in the OPD for registration of the patients. There are OPDs for medical, dental, ENT, cardiac and surgical treatments. There are specialist doctors in various disciplines. The patients are treated with the latest medical technologies and instruments.